We've all been there. Having a song we've been listening to for weeks, months, sometimes even years, when suddenly you realize that the version you've been listening to wasn't even the original. What a fool I must have been, you're thinking. Am I a poser? Well, don't worry, because me and you are not the only ones who experience this phenomenon. In fact, it's actually pretty common. So today, I've compiled some of the most common songs that people still love and listen to today, but probably don't even know who actually wrote it originally. Let's start with one of the most iconic songs from 2000s culture, Stacy's Mom. Originally released on May 19th, 2003, the song quickly became attributed to one band in particular, Bowling for Soup. The only problem here is, they didn't write the song. The original creators of the song are a band named Fountains of Wayne. So how did this happen? Well, it all starts with the fact that it's 2003, my friends, and 2003 was a peak time for file sharing sites. LimeWire had just dropped in 2000, and YouTube was only 2 years away, making it easier than ever for people to spread all sorts of files, especially music. And somehow along that journey, a popular file of the song was going around, with it being mistakenly named Bowling for Soup. That, mixed with the already similar style of the two bands, this soon became the official narrative. Bowling for Soup frontman Jarrett Reddick has said in interviews that he's had fans come up to him all the time and say, "Stacy's Mom is my favorite Bowling for Soup song," which would prompt laughter from the band and the occasional, "Wow, look at that dork." However, the fans got to them, and to really top things off, in 2011, as a B-side for one of their new releases, they officially released their own cover of the song, just making it that much more confusing for people like me who grew up in the 2010s to tell who the original writer was. As for Fountains of Wayne, they never took any offense to any of it, actually appreciating the buzz the joke brought to them. I mean, the song is a pop culture classic, and they had to sign the release form for Bowling for Soup to record it, so I think they're doing okay. Next up, we got a song by two totally different artists that have actually started to make headlines again recently for the original artist saying that the new artist butchered the song. And that would be My Prerogative by Bobby Brown, or as you might know it, My Prerogative by Britney Spears. Originally released in 1988 for Brown's sophomore album, Don't Be Cruel, the song quickly rose to the charts and became one of, if not his most successful song to date. Flash forward to 2004. When Britney Spears will be preparing to release her first greatest hits compilation while on her Onyx Hotel tour in Europe. Due to the obvious amounts of attention she was constantly getting at the time, she decided to cover one of her favorite songs that she felt fit her current life situation perfectly, particularly when it came to the media, paparazzi, and her family. While the original song is considered a classic New Jack Swing anthem, being seen as freeing, uplifting, and empowering, Britney Spears' version took a much darker undertone, focusing on the pressures of being a constant role model and having everyone in her business, just not being able to live life the way she wants. The song would even be accompanied by a music video, which just escalated those themes even more. While Britney's version takes a lot of inspiration from the original, the composition and lyrics are different enough that it almost sounds as if it's the same song, just kinda like made in two different universes. Not to mention the time gap between them, 16 years, and the fact that each of them cater to very different audiences, it makes it pretty easy for young Britney Spears fans and people in the following years to think that, hey, maybe she was the only person to ever make the song. But it doesn't end here, because Bobby Brown would not like that was slowly becoming the narrative. And recently he went on the Club Shay Shay podcast to spill his true feelings on the matter.
I don't think they did justice.
Okay.
I don't think they really did justice to any of the samples that they have done to my songs. Like, Britney Spears butchered. Damn, Bobby. She butchered Prerogative.
I mean, what do you think? Who did it better? Next up, we got another classic case of the internet being the internet. Originally released on September 15th, 1997, Sex and Candy quickly became a post-grunge rock hit. And even with the song coming out 3 years after Kurt Cobain's death, it still somehow gets widely mistaken for being by Nirvana. But that's not the case. It's actually by a band called Marcy's Playground. So how did that confusion happen? Well, for some context, this would be the lead single off Marcy's Playground's debuted self-titled album. So pretty much, this song was the world's first time hearing these guys ever. And since we're still in the pre-social media days, people were reading or hearing what music critics thought of the song in magazines and on radios. And pretty much everyone ever likened it to the works of Nirvana, specifically their iconic MTV Unplugged set. And given the rise of file sharing sites coming out within years of the song's release, it was again commonly referred to as Nirvana Sex and Candy, just leaving many people for years and years to think that that was the case, until they heard the DJ in the car one day go, "That song was by Marcy's Playground," and we're like, "Wait, what?" Now let's shift our attention back to Bowling for Soup. Yeah, didn't think you'd see them again here, huh? Turns out they have quite the knack for taking over people's songs. Because, did you know their song 1985 is actually not by them? Yeah, the song was actually recorded and released for the band SR71's third and final studio album, Here We Go Again, which came out just 4 months before Bowling for Soup's version. However, the track was actually a bonus song that was released only in Japan. So it's not like they meant for the whole world to hear it, more like just as a way to honor and respect their Japanese fans. However, Bowling for Soup would take the song, make a couple lyrical changes, and release it under their own album, A Hangover You Don't Deserve, as an official song on the main track list, with it then propelling to number 23 on the Billboard Hot 100. So how did this happen? Well, it does seem pretty strange, and the answer is kind of just as strange. Because when going on SR71's website, they claim that Bowling for Soup frontman Jarrett Reddick asked the band for permission after hearing the song to record it. While on Bowling for Soup's website, they claim SR71 came to them with the proposal to do the song. I know, pretty weird. There is one interview Jarrett Reddick did with Songfacts in 2010, where he said the whole thing came about really because the bands had the same associate producer working on their albums at the time, Butch Walker. So, I guess it's really thanks to him that we got the song. Regardless, the overall consensus is that Bowling for Soup were the original writers, and it doesn't really seem like SR71 is too upset about that. In fact, encouraging it. And that's all I got for you guys today. What are some other songs like this that you guys know of? Put them in the comments below, and if there's enough, then maybe I'll make a part 2 to this video. And remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone you know who still thinks Stacy's mom is actually a Bowling for Soup song. Let's educate them together. And if you're still here for some reason, which I appreciate by the way, then feel free to check out my music, which is available in the description below, as well as on Saskia Beats. And I even have one single that's out on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your music. And yeah, I just appreciate you guys always, and I'll see you in another video. Peace. Tired of the junkies and I'm tired of the snitch. Tired of driving around in an illegal whip. Tired of not being able to stack up my bread and shit. Tired of always feeling like I'm stuck in this bitch. Need a way out, but I don't see a way out. Mom and dad did dope, just like John, they problems out. That's the kind of shit that I'm not really about. Man, I got a sister that I gotta watch out. I got some fucking passions that